They are three best friends united by one common bond: snowmobiling in the winter wilderness. For years, Aaron Weiss, Tim Patton, and Jacob Birchall have vacationed here in the remote backwoods of eastern Utah.
When I'm on a snowmobile, I truly feel like a superhero. I'm able to go places that the average person can't. I'm able to do it at high rates of speed, under a lot of horsepower.
These guys know the dangers of going way off the beaten path, and they go prepared.
There could be snow cavities, there could be snow caves, ice holes, there's under snow streams that are covered by ice shelves. There's a lot of things that can happen out there that you have to be prepared for.
The snow is their greatest thrill, but it can also be their most feared adversary. One wrong move, one single miscalculation on a steep hill can have dire consequences. Buried alive in tons of roaring snow in the hopeless grip of an avalanche.
The avalanche is the worst case scenario when you're in the backcountry. If you're caught in an avalanche, the chances are you're not going to make it out of there in one piece.
The three friends work their way into an area known as Bear Gulch and a steep hill loaded with snow. They are cautious as they size up the landscape.
We were aware of the avalanche conditions that day, but we felt that we were confident enough that we would approach this hill in a safe manner.
Then Tim decides to push it. He's going to tackle the steepest slope. Aaron and Jacob get in position and keep an eye on Tim as he makes the ascent.
I was at the bottom of the slope. Jacob was at the left of the slope. We were all in protected zones where we were out of the way of any kind of avalanche.
At least that's what they thought. As Tim climbs the steep slope, his snowmobile stalls. Tim jumps off to keep from sliding back down the hill. But he's already triggered an avalanche. As the snow starts to slide, it opens up a 200-foot-long crack in the snow along the top of the hill. What's worse, he is headed straight for a stand of trees directly in his path, with a 600-pound snowmobile barreling down on top of him.
This is the real deal, okay? This is a lot of snow coming down the mountain, and my buddy's up there in the middle of it. When he starts heading towards these trees at a pretty good rate of speed, I know that there's nothing good that's gonna come out of this.
He got caught up in the trees and started getting buried by snow, and the snowmobile came cartwheeling through the trees, bashing up against the trees, basically getting torn apart.
Tim is buried somewhere among the trees, with his helmet camera still rolling. But as his friends struggle to get to him, they have no idea of his condition.
The possibilities are endless on what kind of condition his body's gonna be in when this comes to a stop.
A minute later, they hear a sound that brings some relief. Tim's voice calling to them from somewhere in the middle of the avalanche.
Help! Help!
He's yelling to us to get to him.
Tim is buried up to his shoulders in 5 feet of impacted snow with his head facing downhill. As they carefully dig him out, they see that his legs are nearly wrapped around the trees, flanking his body.
When I arrive at Tim, his legs are twisted around a couple of trees, and they're pointing the wrong direction. He had about a 5-foot pile of snow pushing against his torso, pushing against these trees. I would guess that was a couple thousand pounds of snow pushing his legs around these trees. So this was a pretty extreme situation.
But the fact that he is even alive is a miracle in itself.
When Tim slid into those trees, if he would have been a half an angle off, or if his torso would have hit those trees, we're talking broken back, we're talking broken neck, we're talking broken bones.
It takes about 10 minutes to dig Tim out of the snow, but they finally get him free and to the bottom of the hill. A few hours later, Tim is in the hospital as doctors check him out. He has some muscular damage to his badly twisted knees that were wrapped around those trees.
What's up, yo?
But thankfully, he'll make a full recovery.
As I stepped off the sled, all of a sudden, I felt the slope go. First thought that goes through my mind is I'm above trees. I'm screwed. Next thought was I gotta get my torso past the trees. If I don't, I'm dead. I'm swimming hard as fast as I can. Right at the last second, I feel like I need to dive to the left away from the snowmobile. That is, I think, what saved me. Sled hits the trees immediately right after me. I don't know how it missed me. I realized right then I'm not dead. I might be close to dead, but I'm not dead.
Tim is back snowmobiling in 6 weeks. But these days, he checks every hill twice.
I thought it was just a little piece of the mountain that came down, but it went 200 feet out to the right. I was shocked. And I turned around and I'm like, are you serious? I just went through that?